Hey guys, I wanted to continue to talk here about narcissism and um, dealing with narcissist, dismantling narcissism. So I was starting to elaborate a little bit about how to foil a narcissist psychological trap. Okay. Well, first of all, you don't want to get caught in a psychological trap in the first place. So I want to probably get to that one first. And so with some of these phrases that they will say that they're identifying themselves as a narcissist, and embedded in their own verbiage is a statement they're making, and that's like the Freudism, okay, and so for example, like I had talked previously about them saying, one of the biggest ones was a narcissist saying, "I was the one who did this," or "I was the one who did that," or "I was the one who did this," and if it wasn't for me, and so it's like they start trying to firstly seek attention. That's like and then going through the steps, them really seeking attention, then probably there might be some truth, but ultimately trying to take credit for somebody else's hard work, or something that somebody else did. But I was the one, and so you really need to start to just disassociate with these people and not associate with them, and start to figure out that you can't really have any type of interactions, and you can't have any type of dreams or goals or anything like this, because they're only going to try to shatter it. They're going to try to stop it. They're going to try to then try to take credit for it, for that. So what's the point in even being around them, or even associate them at all? You can't. And so not even being around them is probably the best bet. Then not falling into their psychological games and traps and stuff like this that they start to set. And so I wanted to elaborate on how to foil the narcissist trap. You know what I'm saying? And so this also can be really dangerous, okay, because it'll haywire this psychological toxic circle that's spinning around in a narcissist's head, where ultimately just seeking attention, trying to bring it back, spin things, the flip, the flop, the excuses, the two sets of rules come out, the double standards that that they'll start to apply to really, that it's such a waste of time that you really can't be with these, or don't be around them in the first place. And you can start to identify them, or actually they identify themselves. They'll tell you who they are, but you gotta learn to listen to the verbiage, okay? And so ways that you can foil their psychological game and traps is that first, practicing humility, and talking real plainly, maybe even about yourself. Okay, you can talk about yourself and say, well, we all make mistakes. We've all sinned. We've all had shortcomings. We've all done something wrong in our lives. But and maybe you getting to admit that, and that being a true, and maybe you're starting to level yourselves, take them off their high horse a little bit, but they will have a hard time doing it. Okay, they'll have a hard time, admitting that they're wrong. Okay, they'll lie. They start lying and getting other people to lie. It could be really dangerous, because it's toxic circle of that snake chasing the tail. It's in their head, and they don't like to admit any type of fault at all. Okay, so they try to act like they're perfect all at the same time while exposing, or they say exposing, but I mean, if you've already come to the realizations, and you come to realizations that you've made mistakes before, we've all sinned before, we've all done this before, and and if you're in a healthy mindset, you can accept that and start to overcome, and then you know, give tomorrow your best shot. You know, and not practicing narcissism and not being around narcissistic people in these psychological games. Be in battle with yourself. Be in battle with who you were yesterday. Okay, be a better version of yourself. Okay, then, and that's not affecting anyone. Okay, but however, so here's the next thing, that a narcissist will do. So if you're talking real plainly like that, and trying to be real humble, um, that can really, they might jump on that as a weakness. Okay, and they might not understand, because there's some, you know they can spin things 20 different ways, but all to get around, not admitting a fault, or wanting to feel guilt, or feeling any type of shame for even some of the smallest little things. Okay, so not being around them in the first place. So the next step is, if you were really to have a heart-to-heart conversation, and that might be somebody that you like, or you might tell somebody like it is, or you tell somebody, what's up, look, okay, this is unacceptable behavior, and if you call them a narcissist, if you say you're a narcissist, your narcissistic actions, you're being a jerk, you're being a complete a-hole, and it's unwanted, unvalid, and I'm not going to stand for it to sit here and watch you do it. Okay, so they hate that. Okay, they hate being, for their psychological trap being exposed, and they cannot stand that. Okay, but it'll really haywire their thoughts. So, but you got to realize, though, that can be really dangerous. Okay, because that may trigger this psychopath into taking a psychopath action. Okay, all to get around not wanting to feel guilt and shame, and maybe even to get attention. Okay, they may want to just get attention, and that's it. That's all they're trying to do, is just get attention. All right, so if you have any dream, any goal, any ambition, anything that you're doing with your life that's worthwhile in any way, shape, or form, who's got time for them? Who's got time for that? Okay, not me. But however, back to the steps. Even if you did have interaction, maybe you can't prevent it. Maybe you thought it was, were they really going to go this far with it, and be really that deranged? Okay, because there's some people that are really far out there, and so trying to be centered, trying to be on a middle ground, not having biases, not practicing prejudices, not practicing some of the basics: race, religion, creed, and trying to judge, or have a preformed opinion about that, as some of the basic things. But them wanting to be the center of attention, or themselves, and always interjecting themselves, or thoughts into something that is can always be a problem. Okay, and that coming up again and again and again, you'll just start to take note of somebody's actions, and their verbiage of what they're saying. So That's all. Just wanted to re-elaborate, on foiling some of these narcissistic traps and psychological games. It could be really dangerous, okay? Because the best thing to do is not even be around them in the first place. The next thing you probably could do is not even talk, okay? Not even talk. Act like your tongue's broken for a second. You're sick or something, or you're anything. Don't say a word, because it's only gonna trigger them into taking a psychopath action, okay? And they may try to kill you, okay? Just for attention, okay? So if you have any type of anything going on in your life, them maybe want to chase the clout. They get attention for trying to kill you. That might be their dream, their goal. That might, and ultimately they might think it's worth it. They may even justify that by saying that they got to be on the news. They got to even be around somebody else. They got to be the center of attention. They got to cause a big controversy. And the narcissist, wanting to be the little diva, that it may be justified, okay, in their mind. Okay, so not even talking. Okay, so first off, you don't want to associate with them. Next, you don't even want to talk to them. Okay, and then if you did have a talk with them, practicing humility and stuff like this, you start to see, maybe you can even test, how far gone they are. So if you start to talk about things about humility, and we've all sinned, this and that, and maybe the situation could be handled this different way, and a real plainly talking, and maybe that might be a good way to test the ground of then you can go back to step one and be like, well, later, there's no point in even talking to them. Next, there's no point in even verbal talking to them. No point in even being around them. No point in even verbalizing talking to them. And then but if you did if they were being really detrimental to your life, what I'm saying, the normal reaction would probably, but still nicely, would be like to tell somebody that they're a narcissist, okay, and that they are you're not playing these games anymore. And they completely hate that, okay? Because they're exposed. Okay, God, they figure it out. I was just trying to get attention. I was just trying to do this. I was just trying to do this. And they'll start to, it'll haywire all of these thoughts. And so and then, but that may be healthy, okay? And hopefully it won't, cause them to get really far gone, as far as them maybe being exposed as play a game. I don't really know, but I can only speculate, because having seen it done, and having like about 3 or 4 different ways that maybe they can go, that they may be coachable. You may be able to coach them back into reality that's not acceptable, and only in their head, and that but practicing humility and always trying to come back to that, staying humble, and then not being around them, and in narcissism itself, just only being in contact in a contest with yourself. Okay, you're not in contest with other people, but yet you see how constantly they're trying to make contests out of things. So I'm gonna do one on that here in a second to wrap this one up. Okay.